I mean, right off the bat, if you go to like the Fusion 17, like just their page, I like that their website is just like so over the top.
Oh yeah.
Like, have you ever been to it? It's just kind of like, could I screen share? Will it record if I screen share?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm gonna assume that this is being recorded. But yeah, it's just like it starts off with like this like node graph that's like inside of a comp, and there's like a split screen thing
They
going on
actually
that
look
you
very blendery with the nodes on
this.
top of the thing.
I wonder if this image in particular is like, I wonder if this is like CG out of Fusion, because Fusion has a much more powerful
Yeah.
3D engine.
Let's see. Image plane, merge, UV map.
There's something, this is being projected, I'm assuming. Well,
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably the image plane is the background
yeah.
with the
I also
fire.
love I also love this like epic flare that's in here that like you
Yeah.
could never really get away with in like most visual effects jobs. Like maybe some Marvel stuff or something, you could like put in a flare like that, but
Not really. I think I've seen flares like that only on what's his name?
space shots,
Space.
things in
Yeah,
things in space.
like Star Trek, like this
Yeah.
the film, the three movies
Yeah, where you
from
have
Star
like this,
Trek.
there's a JJ flare in here. You can see
There's
it.
a JJ, yeah.
There's a JJ
Yeah,
in
the
here
JJ Abrams
mixed
like
mixed
players,
with
like
a
he's only
non JJ
no.
kind of like circular flare in here.
The
Anyway,
circular one is for authenticity.
yeah, exactly. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine when you like mix different kinds of flares. Because even though like the average person would not notice the difference, there is something kind of inherently, I feel like that feels incorrect to a person.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
no, especially when you get like those anamorphic flares and then like the circular one.
Yeah, like
Uh,
there's something, those are
like
not, a flare is a flare is a flare, right? It has to kind of
there's a
be,
reason why a flare exists, but
yeah, it just has to be what it is in that shot, in that camera.
yeah,
Then you have like this we're just gonna talk about their marketing right now. So then you have like this like studio
sophisticated
that just
studio.
ultra sophisticated, like,
With what kind of computers are those?
yeah, like what kind of computer is this, first of all? Like what is that?
It looks like I don't know, looks like a 3D render computer.
Yeah, then it's just like,
Then you look at it like it's a super composite computer there.
it's just like, it's a little upsetting because I wish this is such like an ideal form of like a VFX studio. Because in reality, it's like there's like, first of all, the chairs are like a tenth of the price of whatever this chair is,
Yeah,
and like there's probably like breadcrumbs on all the tables and stuff like that. Like the carpet also is probably like a tenth the price of what this carpet is, if there's even carpet at all.
yeah. Most of the time there's no carpet.
Yeah,
But also
you have to
you
clean carpet.
have
That's so much
like
money.
such a distance between a person and another. I mean, it's
Oh yeah, and like these
COVID proof, I
people.
guess.
What?
This one is COVID proof.
This is a COVID safe environment.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. Also, like the whiteboard in the back, that is just like
Yeah,
immaculate. It's like they drew it once and it was perfect.
I've never seen drawing boards in a visual effects
Yeah,
studio.
because you don't really, yeah. So much of visual effects is just like logistics.
I mean, this is definitely more like a commercial studio, I guess.
Well, that's Fusion. That is
Fake
also,
grass.
yeah, and that's kind of what Fusion really is. I think that's kind of like the first really big difference between Fusion and Nuke, because Nuke really caters to, and well, and it comes from a world of high-end, like large-scale movie, TV, visual effects, whereas Fusion is still kind of in the commercial world where it has to, it's more in creative studios and things like that. Your mic is off. Yeah.
I have another train passing. Wasn't
No, leave the train in. The train is good. Whatever. It's authentic. It's it's the
Yeah, I
experience, the New York City
remember.
experience.
I remember when they opened the website, the Black Magic Fusion website. I'm checking if it's available. It is on archive.org. Let me. Can I send you on a chat and you can
Send me
open
in
it?
like the Zoom chat, I think.
Yeah, try
How
it.
do I don't know what's being recorded or what's not being recorded right now, so we'll have to see like in edit
Yeah.
what is what.
Uh, this was more a visual effects studio looking. Like,
Yeah,
it's messy.
no, for sure. This is like you could kind of see like some blemishes and like
Yeah.
this dude's
Like
definitely been like
when you
like
go
he
down, there's a yeah. He doesn't go to the gym that often, but when he
yeah
does,
he doesn't go to the gym. It's like this is like hour 12 of his day.
yeah.
Like he hasn't shaved in like a year. Well, not a year, but like
Since the
then you
project
have
started a month ago.
then you see like the lady in the back. She's just like nervous because and
She's
like
definitely a
anxious.
producer. She's like, I don't know what's going on here, but like client is bothering me.
Yeah, anxiety is definitely like you
Uh-huh.
feel more anxiety in here, which is correct. That's much more correct.
And if you
Oh, this
scroll
is
down, there's a rack of server.
a server rack.
Yeah, like
This is you see, this is more accurate. Like it's nighttime.
it's nice.
Yeah, like everyone's there. It's like still nighttime. Everyone's there.
I I do I remember like a lot of people were complaining about this very weird like um, dull sort of like color correction like effects that they're doing with their pictures. But I thought it was kind of cool.
Is it in
Like see
here?
everybody like looks very plasticky. Like
They like they cleaned it up a lot. They like cleaned up this up too much.
yeah, but I don't
Which
mind it. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind
it
of
like depends on like
fun.
your taste. Like it definitely it feels like a marketing graphic, but I don't know. Is that like I mean that doesn't really throw me off because I'm not looking for like authenticity. I don't you know what I mean like I'm not on this website for like a
Yeah,
documentary about like life as a creative artist. Like that's not what this is.
right. Like I don't know. I thought it was kind of different. You know, like at the time that was not an image that you would associate with visual effects.
Yeah, this is definitely like this is accurate.
Yeah, it's a
Like
mess.
this is
Every monitor is
like
different.
you have like this looks like a real studio. I feel like this is a real place. Like the well no that's the same people and over and over. But like
Could
you have like the figurines, you have like the one guy who like plays guitar or something.
Yeah, I bet it's a real
The
studio.
coffee.
They just told the artist, you know, like go to the kitchen area, have lunch, and we
Yeah.
take a bunch of picture with these nice models.
Yeah, and then they cut out like 90% of it. Like
Yeah, and then they
they
clean it up
edited
later
out
on.
like cleaned up. All right, so let's go to the Fusion 17 page though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it is like
So
it
that
is
was
accurate
great.
that Fusion is definitely much more focused on like kind of the creative side of things,
Yeah,
which I kind of wish that Nuke would have. You know, like it's kind of. I mean, I don't know. I work at commercial houses a lot, which are much more definitely much more creative than your
yeah.
average movie gig.
Nuke is missing that playfulness that like you will just jump in and throw a bunch of things and see what works, and if it looks cool, you continue. You know
Yeah,
that
like I
like
wish.
everybody's doing in After
Well,
Effects a lot.
we'll try to drop in like videos in this about like all these individual things, but like right off the bat, it's like build your own effects with customizable templates. They did like this whole thing where you can build like, and this is similar to like gizmos, and like this is something you can do inside of Nuke, but this actually references a timeline where if you change the
Yeah,
duration of a timeline, it will actually change the effect.
right. I think I tried that with DaVinci. It's actually really cool because
Yeah,
yeah, you basically you're creating a comp that is affected by DaVinci when you edit.
When you edit, yeah.
So you can create like custom transition, and then in DaVinci, see they have like custom vector shapes. Like you can create
That's yeah. That's
you
so
can create like
huge.
motion graphics.
That's one like really big. I don't know. That's such a big thing that Nuke just has never ventured into. It's just like it's such a rasterized application where everything is rasterized and you're always working in pixel space, which is totally cool. I mean, nothing wrong with that, I guess, but I feel like if you could like custom vector shapes is such a basic thing. Just being able to like make a star and then
Yeah,
have that just like rasterize in real time and everything.
right.
Like I don't know, because you could argue that the roto shape kind of does that, but like not really though. Like you have to. It's really
I
tricky
mean,
to make like a perfect star inside of a
yeah.
roto, or make like any of these shapes really.
So you know
I'm
how
a,
many times I wish that you could just import like vector graphics in a new,
yeah,
like especially like when we were building the slate. It would have been so much easier to just import um, some kind of vector graphic like SVG or something.
yeah. Something that well, because something that Fusion does, and I don't know if this is just Fusion, but there's a lot of value in having a pixel-based environment and also having just a unit-based environment, right? So
Mhm.
you could have an environment where when you like say you move something around on the screen, you're moving it X amount of pixels or Y amount of pixels, or you could move it between 0 and 1, 0 and 1. And the difference being that when you're in the zero
Right.
one space, you're in a vector space where really it really doesn't matter like what the size of anything is.
Yeah.
It only matters when it gets rendered out. And you could, when you make something like a slate, or you could try to make automated tools, you can tell it to like, oh, like this item always exists at 0.5, so it's always in the middle,
Hmm.
right? No matter what the resolution input is, right? So if you have an image that's 4,000 pixels wide, well, it's just 0 to 1. So when it gets piped in, it just fits into 0 and 1. And then when you have another graphic, and that graphic is 0.25 in scale, and it's
Right.
at 0.5 position, it's just going to be in the middle, and it doesn't matter what its actual resolution is.
Yeah.
And
That would simplify certain things in
yeah, like so,
Nuke.
yeah, like in Nuke, like it's
Like
I don't
I
know.
always
I mean, I don't know if this is easy to implement, but it's one of those things where, especially if you're one of those people that loves making gizmos and making all these kind of tools, the pipeline tools, I feel like
yeah
that's very powerful.
I do, and I have to say like it's pretty easy to implement, but they don't like because I you have to implement it yourself with the expression that you make. You know, you have to like get the size of the canvas and then divide it and stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
and I wish sometimes that it was just 0 to 1. That will make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Um, especially I do something like that when I render like UV because I set it up so that I can like scale it up and down and have like a more high resolution like UV, I guess, for me to see. And then like when I render, I scale it back down because usually you don't need that much quality.
Hmm.
But you know, like you have to go with a bunch of expression because Nuke does not understand that the paint that you did on that frame is really a position 0.5 instead of like
Yeah.
200.
Right. It's not a pixel value; it's a position
No,
value,
yeah.
and
So
that's
yeah, I wish it had also that option,
Fusion.
which yeah,
Yeah. And Fusion has that, and it like that kind of allows it. And it's again, it's because it has this motion graphics thing going on. But these are all like powerful tools that I don't think are that hard to make
shouldn't be.
happen. Nodes are a much faster way to work. Yes.
Yes, well, I think we all agree with that.
Yeah. Everyone's
Shake
on the same page
Shake
about the
proved it, and then they
get.
killed it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Actually,
Most
I think
powerful. The most powerful VFX software available. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Well, I
I don't
mean,
know Fusion.
I think it might be one of the older because I think Fusion was even older than Shake.
It's one of the most prolific, probably, because it has been around forever.
Right.
So in that sense, I think there is an argument that it's like the most prolific. It has the most pedigree, maybe, than a lot of other ones. But honestly, the most powerful is probably like After Effects. If we're totally honest, if you try to kind of escape the mindset of like, oh, I work, just for Hollywood movies or like just like TV shows, and you look at what actually all the creative media that is being created,
Hmm.
it's in Adobe. Most likely when you go like on YouTube and you watch something that is like impressive or cool, it's probably done in After Effects. Including like Vimeo. If you go on Vimeo and you're like, oh, like, look at all these cool animations and all this crazy stuff that people are doing, probably After Effects.
Well, I mean, if you're looking, yeah, but I think they're saying VFX, not motion graphics.
I mean, After Effects, yeah, I guess if you want to make that distinction,
Yeah,
I feel like it's all
I
the
do.
same. It's all, you do. Um,
No, because like if it's motion graphics, I completely agree. If it's VFX, I would say probably there you go. Now you're gonna hear the cat. I
that's
would
fine.
say probably Nuke is just the one that is most used.
Yeah.
But like I
I
don't
don't
know if it's
know.
the most powerful though, because like at the end of the day they all do the same thing. They
Yeah.
apply the same math.
I don't know what most powerful is, like this is like a philosophical, like more philosophical, much more abstract idea of like what is actually like powerful software in like the creative field. Like what does
By
that
the
really
way,
mean?
I just found out that the first version of Fusion was available on Windows on 1996, and at the same time, um, Shake was released in 1996 as a command line, not UI.
So, well, one of them is still around.
Yeah, but so they kind of came out together, I guess.
Yeah. So this
Interesting.
is broadcast graphics and titles. That's all cool and whatever. But I do agree that like their 3D motion graphics and particle system is like really legit. I might maybe at the end of this I'll run Fusion and I'll maybe like see if we can look at any of it. But like the few times that I've used it, I thought it was just like way better than
Yeah, the particle system when I mean, I didn't use the text, but the particle system is definitely
it's just like
like
their
response
shade,
time fast, and you can do a lot of things.
just like their shaders and everything is just like I guess it's not Arnold. It's not like
Right.
you're not going to render like very just like incredibly physically plausible like subsurface scattering or whatever, but you'll get like a pretty cool result very quickly,
Yeah.
and it's definitely good enough to use in production. So there's something to that. Visual effects and compositing. Their tracker is kind of jank.
Yeah, I don't like the
Uh,
track.
I don't like their
Yeah.
tracker. It works. It will do the job,
It's
but it's needs much improvement. It misses one of the things I really, and maybe this is just because I'm not knowledgeable enough about the software. It misses the ability to correct the track, um, kind of like how Nuke has it, where you can
yeah,
set
I
keyframes and it
had the
will just
same I had the same issue. I could not access easily the curve that was generated by the tracker.
yeah.
Or even
Or
something that I do very often to like stabilize footage, like track an element and then stabilize the footage so that the element is always in the center of my screen
mhm.
and I can like adjust it manually very easily.
There's
Uh, that
I found
was
that the Reactor, which is kind of like the community plugin package for Fusion, they
right.
do have like a Tracker Plus node that has that, where like it's the tracker, but then there's just like a button for like that just
Spitting
creates
out like an element, like a transform or
yeah,
something.
that it's inverted or not inverted. It just and then you can just plug it into things. So the community addressed that whole thing,
Yeah,
but the tracker,
it
but
should
it
be.
also there's some like more sophisticated things like being able to like set keyframes and then have it interpret things, and then set new
Yeah.
keyframes and have it interpret again. Like that's pretty standard, I think. Like
Well, I think those are the stuff that like became standard with Nuke. Like Nuke introduced those. I don't know. I don't know if Flame
Mocha,
maybe did them, but
I would
as
say
far as I
Mocha.
know,
I think
well,
Mocha introduced that stuff.
no, Mocha came later. Because I remember like
No,
the first,
those
first Nuke.
features, Mocha, those features came way after Mocha was doing that stuff, like years
Yeah.
after.
Oh,
Um,
the in between. Yeah, the in between keyframes that you put down.
yeah,
Yes,
like
came
I
later.
think like early Nuke, like what's early Nuke? I mean, like when I started using it was like Nuke 6 or something, Nuke 5.
Yeah, same.
Um, that tracker in there was very similar to what Fusion's tracker is. I thought like it was just like
It
you kind of
was.
you select the point and then you just let it go and then you pray. And then if it doesn't work, you're just going to manually fix it, or you're
But
just going to track it over and over. Like, I don't know.
one thing that like impressed me a lot, it was like, let's say like you see the guy that is walking down behind, like I could track his head with Nuke, and it will be like pretty much like a usable track that I can use for like a garbage man or something. Like obviously like not precise, but like it would be a good beginning. If I tried that with like Shake or After Effects, it'll be After Effects, not even like it'll probably like look at the face once and then like the next frame it will like go like somewhere
And
else.
then it crashes, and then your computer catches fire.
Yeah, and I have to say like they improved the tracking in After Effects because I tried it recently. It's super slow, but it's a lot improved. But like even
Oh
in Shake, I
no,
cannot track that much. Uh,
GameStop's annual meeting is coming up. Oh no. Oh boy.
oh boy, you have stocks?
I have like a few dollars
Don't.
in it. Just for the memes, just for the memes. I got some GameStop.
You were supposed to like sell it by by now.
I sold it at like when it was $300, but
Okay.
then I bought more because I thought it was funny. I'm telling you, like it's just like it's one of those like stocks where it's just like you're really just doing it because it's funny.
Yeah.
It's just like it's
I don't think that
Schadenfreude.
I don't think I ever bought it. Did you know that GameStop actually has the patent for wireless controllers?
How
Like
long
they
has that
had this,
company been around? I feel like they have a few patents.
yeah, but like they bought this super generic patent that like basically says
Back
any
when you could do
wireless
that, yeah.
controller is they have to pay them something. Probably that's why they're still afloat.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing, I might be incorrect about this, but the funny thing about this whole GameStop meme stock thing is that it looks like they actually managed to fundraise enough money to kind of pivot their business and do online gaming, like Steam style kind of
Hmm.
stuff, which is funny. They were supposed to go under, and like the stock market, like the Wall Street
Yeah.
was trying to get them to go under, but now with like basically Reddit infused them with money, so now they have a chance again. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Lucky them, I guess. I
I
mean,
guess, yeah. No.
I should post on Reddit that I need some money.
Yeah, exactly. It's like no, you just have to kind of like paint it as like a victim, that you're like a victim of like
I'm the victim of the entertainment industry.
yeah, exactly.
What do we have here? Vector
You'll be a
paint
millionaire
reverse.
in no time. So I never really tried a lot of vector painting inside of and Roto inside of Fusion. They do seem to have all like the basic spline, like the B spline and Bezier and all that
So
stuff.
yeah, as far as I remember, unless they changed it, and I'm like 2 versions behind, and maybe like that's enough to change. I don't know. But I remember the Roto, you basically had like a node per shape. So to create more shapes, you created more nodes, and then you just stack them together. And then if you wanted to hide that, you just group it, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, I guess it's just a different way of seeing it.
Yeah, it's like to them, they don't. Yeah, like it doesn't produce like a spreadsheet basically of shapes. You just
No,
make a bunch of shapes. Yeah, I don't
uh,
know. But then again, like I'm thinking like I guess like the only benefit is that is it like a performance thing? I never felt like that slowed down performance much having like a lot of shapes versus not
in Fusion,
in Fusion, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really impacts performance that much.
Yeah. I don't know about their optical flow stuff. I will give Nuke a lot of credit for working on their optical flow stuff, and it's pretty legit. Smart vectors, vector distort, all those, like how they like implemented that technology to Chronos and motion blur, their motion blur node.
Hmm.
Like their motion blur node is like, I mean, I think it's really good. Like it's on the same level, I think, as like real smart and all that kind of stuff. Because they updated it with their new smart vector stuff. And like same thing with Chronos. Like I think Chronos, the new Chronos is like a very powerful retiming tool. Like I think it's one of the best in the business.
Chronos?
Yeah, like the new if the Chronos retime node inside of Nuke, the new updated one which has the new smart vector vector technology in it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like flame level
No,
retiming. It's really
I haven't
good.
used it. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. Yeah, like if you just go through like some of the Chronos stuff and like the motion blur node, their new motion blur node, like it's all pretty legit now.
Yeah, because it really created some jankiness, the old one.
Oh, it was unusable. I mean, I remember before they fixed Chronos, you would use Oflow, and I think Oflow was because it was just more stable.
Yeah,
I think that was the reason for it. You used it,
and it was faster too. Like it was,
yeah, and like you couldn't use it in like a capacity like now Chronos the way it is now you could use it on like just on a whole shot like on the entire frame
mhm.
and properly retime things and it will actually hold up with very few artifacts if any. um, Before that was not a thing. You would only use those tools on like patches and things like things that you could mask and kind of hide. um, so that's big. That's I'll give the foundry a lot of credit for that. They definitely, I don't know if it's worth 12 grand, but or whatever it is now, but they did it.
Is it worth the $300 extra that they make you pay on top of the whole 7 grand? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. This whole maybe I can like splice this into the final video, but there's a whole reel for Fusion that shows off like this whole shot, and it's actually pretty damn impressive. It's just like a really legit reprojected like massive deep 3D DNP shot where they like create a bunch of waves and it's just really kind of cool. Have you know what I'm talking about, right? Like this reel that they grabbed this from?
I did not see that one though. What is that? Is that a TV show or just a shot?
It's from the show Anonymous
Oh yeah.
by Uncharted Territory. Oh, is this a game?
No, I don't think so. Not that
Okay.
I know.
But yeah, it's like it's impressive. I'll see if I can splice this into the video later. Scripting and automation, I honestly don't know. I mean, it has Python and Lua. I don't know anything about Lua. I don't know what that is.
So scripting language, kind of similar to to Python.
I feel
You
like
know,
it says it right here.
yeah, I remember like the first time I heard that it was for video games. They were using Lua for scripting Escape from Monkey Island, which is like the fourth Monkey Island video game. If that's of any interest. But
Lua
yeah, it's
is
basically it's a scripting language. So like you write a script and then the interpreter just reads the script, doesn't convert it into machine code.
mhm.
So kind of like Java, Python, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know much about it, so I don't really know how to use it. I never really like look into it. So I'm glad that they actually introduced Python because everybody else in the VFX industry likes Python. So
Yeah. Well, I think they had to because I've never even heard of Lua and like.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it has benefits, but
I mean, knowing how old this software is, it made sense that they added Lua because probably that's what they had at the time.
so this is I've never like tested this, but like as far as I understand, this is true. Like you could actually just um, you could install Fusion as a render node onto any machine,
Yes,
and then
and
just
I
essentially have like unlimited networked, and it has the render farm is actually built into the application.
yes, and I used that actually. I mean, I haven't used it, but I've seen it used at the Hopper because they're all very fusiony
Yeah.
people there. And yeah, you just install it, you open it up, and it does everything basically. It you know the machine that you send the render figures out what other computers have it and will start rendering. That's
Like
actually
that's to
pretty
me is like huge.
pretty cool.
Like, that's
Yeah,
pretty damn huge, especially if you're in a cloud environment.
I don't remember if it has like a render queue kind of stuff. You know, it might just be like it does the first job. I
It
don't
just does
really.
it in a,
That's
well,
right.
that's a queue essentially. I guess you can't, yeah, I've never tested it. Like I don't know what their options, like what the functionality is. But just
Yeah.
like if you don't have to, because that's, I remember when we were first setting up like our cloud pipeline for like years ago for our work, the one of the whole things about Nuke was that, well, one of the whole things about cloud is this whole thing that you can provision essentially unlimited amount of resources, right?
Yes.
Right. So if you had a job that needed to deliver quickly and it was just a really required a lot of render performance, you could spin up like 100 machines and just have it
Right.
render for like an hour, and then you'll have that shot in an hour, right? And have 100 machines is expensive, but it's only expensive if you run it for a long time. If you only do it for an hour, then you're essentially just paying some extra money to have a render quicker.
Yeah.
That's not something that really exists in the world right now, not in any real fashion, unless you invest a lot of money into infrastructure and you're a studio that's willing to kick off other projects to use that render farm.
Well,
But
also, I mean, like this is cool because you can just install the software, and I don't think you really need the
well,
license
yeah,
for it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like with Nuke, you can't do that because you have
Right.
to buy a render license
Because
and
I
you have to
know,
pay maintenance on the render license.
yeah, because I know we have two render license, I think, right? And they're actually behind version compared
Yeah,
to the interactive, which
yeah,
is
because
even more
well,
annoying.
well, it was kind of like I remember when it was just like not worth it for us to kind of do the rent because like in a cloud environment you can it actually makes in that situation it can actually make more sense just to make your machine more powerful or to just
Yeah,
provision because
yeah, I
again
remember
because like
that.
these machines are all just made up, right? Like so like they're not made up but they're just templates. So
Yeah,
if you wanted to render a job really quickly, you would just create a machine image of your machine, give it 10 times more resources, or as much as like your OS essentially can handle, and then just render
Yeah.
it on that box. And then that's going to be cheaper and quicker than trying to get Nuke render licenses. Right.
Definitely,
Right.
definitely
And
cheaper
like,
than
but
you render.
like with Fusion, when you have like this per node and no license fees, you could, like, if you're working on a job, you could essentially just provision like 20, you could, in a completely automated fashion, you could press a button that will just
Like
produce
create like
20.
20 machines, and then like they will automatically be
Yeah, and
uh,
they'll just be networked automatically. You'll have whatever OS you need on it, and it'll just have the Fusion. It'll have whatever OS, whatever software, and the node installation of Fusion, and you just have that as a machine image. You make 20 of them,
yeah.
just do your job, and then just kill them. Or and
Am
if
I
it, and
wrong? Or that image of a rack computer is just
hard
hard drive?
drives. I think that's just hard. I think this is just saying that it's 16 hard drives
Yeah, okay.
or something like that. Yeah.
My
It's okay. Well, hard drives
you
are,
cannot render on a RAID, people. I mean, yeah, you will use a RAID, but you cannot render to
yes, it's all right. They're doing it. They're doing it. Also, like
the
how this guy doesn't have like a tablet. I just don't believe that. This is a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
This,
Some 3D people don't use tablets.
the what?
That's a lie, though. Yeah, like this guy is clearly like an office guy. Come
Yeah,
on, who
he's also
uses
like, what is he pressing? He's pressing like Z and X. What is he doing? Is it just Control Z? He just like broke
Control
something.
Z and
It's just
Control
like,
like
oh no,
X.
I just messed up. Everything's broken. I Control Z out of this.
I think I know how to fix it. Control Z until it looks good.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. Fusion Connect, which is interesting. I mean, I guess that's cool for if you're in like a suite environment where there's like a Resolve person and you have like a VFX person that's just using Fusion. This is like their Nuke Studio-ish kind of implementation.
Right. Yeah, I've seen this working. Um, I mean, it's just database. We know that DaVinci has a database, and
Yeah. We talked about this before, how it's kind of, we actually talked about this at SIGGRAPH with the few
yeah,
Blackmagic people, and
on
it's a little, it's not great. I don't know how into I am with having a completely, because if you're using Fusion Studio, right, which is what this is standalone Fusion.
yeah,
You can be file-based, right, where there's just like, you're just making files on a disk, and it's simple. You just make the pipeline tools that manage all of that, or you procure them somehow, whatever. With Resolve, with Fusion inside Resolve, it's a database that essentially just manages these. It manages the timeline, it manages the scripts, what happens inside
right.
the scripts, and all of these things. And I don't know about that. I don't know about the database kind of approach. To me, it just smells like something's going to get corrupted about this database, and an entire project is going to go in the
Well,
trash.
I think DaVinci creates backups of the database, if I remember correctly. But
Where
I remember I had issues with the database because it was very lacking like functions. For instance, one of the main thing that I thought it was lacking was a user, like acknowledging of users. So like I
yeah,
remember they were saying, okay, if you open this file with Fusion, then like that file is locked, that shot is locked, and nobody else can open it. And I'm like, well, but sometimes you need multiple users working on the same shot, or what if I don't want all the shots to be available to like everybody? Like I
yeah,
just want like one artist to have like 3 shots, and like I don't want him to like be able to open other shots because whatever reason, maybe Disney doesn't want that, or
Yeah, no,
Or
but that's
maybe
so true
like,
because
you're trying to compartmentalize because I certainly deleted by mistake files on farms, non farms on raids, and that was kind of stupid of me, but like it happens.
yeah,
Like with the
no,
tablet, you just drag it.
because those are kind of realities that we know from being in a file-based environment.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where like the entire industry is kind of file-based. Even like Avid, even if you're an Avid person, the Avid
yeah,
environment is just exists with that Avid editor and their assistant editors. But the moment it exits that world, it's all file-based because it has proven to be the easiest way to collaborate with a lot of teams. It's the easiest way to have
right.
control, for like NDA servers and things like that.
And like
Yeah,
every modern operating system has like user permission, so like
yeah.
you're good on that.
And when
It's
you enter a facility, they already have to put in the work to create that user management system.
right. Yeah.
So if they
So
have to do that and then also worry about what's happening inside like the resolve database, it's just
yeah.
nobody
So to
wants
me,
that.
that smelled a lot like this is all great for a small team of like 5 people that can coordinate within themselves, like you see in this picture.
Yeah.
But more than that, it will be a mess. I feel.
There's so this is all cool right here with like basically Resolve has like this shotgunny kind of RV style reviewing system where you can share again because it's a database you can
Right.
basically create database elements that are timelines for review and other people can have access to that. That's really cool. My favorite thing is that part of that Fusion Studio has a bin server
Hmm.
which is I think is really cool. I remember like we kind of thought about doing something like that where instead of having everything, instead of purely relying on kind of your folder structure on your hard drives and on your server, you
Yeah.
have like this layer of abstraction, this application that just creates like bins that everyone can look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a layer of abstraction, meaning that like if you can create like a bin or a folder and put a bunch of stuff in it and you're not actually moving any files around because they're just pointing at things on the hard drive, but it
Yeah. I think
allows you to,
that's
like for
great.
a project it allows you to create a bin where like, oh, here are all the gunshot assets and here are
Yeah.
all the this assets, and then if you're on a job you just open it up, go to the job, and then you have like this little library for yourself of different
Yeah.
things. So Fusion
That
has
that's
that. Fusion Studio actually has a thing like that in it, which I think is powerful.
I guess that comes from DaVinci because it's a very like it's a very editor, kind of
Yeah.
like environment. The
Well,
bin and
this I know that Fusion Studio has like a bin server that's separate just for it. So
well,
there's a
yeah, they probably
standalone.
like grab
Yeah.
it from DaVinci and put it in Fusion because people
Yeah.
like Fusion to be alone. Like sometimes you don't need the whole DaVinci suite.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
So
Damn.
yeah, regular Fusion that's inside of
Great.
Resolve is free, which
Yeah.
is pretty wild. It's pretty wild stuff, and it's on Linux and Windows and Mac.
Yeah. I tell
And,
everybody like when they ask me like what kind of like editing software, I'm like just download DaVinci. Like it's
and
free.
it's actually pretty good editing software.
Yeah.
Just in general, like compared to Premiere, it's like Premiere. I still like Premiere, but Resolve is competitive.
It's competitive, yeah. Compared, I mean, yeah, it's not as complicated as Avid, and I don't know even if Sony still makes the one that they used to make. Um,
Yeah,
which was it? Uh,
Vega,
Vega, yeah.
Vegas.
Do they
Yeah,
still
yeah, yeah.
make?
I've used that before.
I never used it, but
I don't know what I think about it. There's one.
maybe when the I don't know, maybe they don't make it anymore.
There's one editing software that I always thought was kind of underrated, which is this. I don't even know like where.
Grass Valley.
Yeah, this is so random,
It is.
but
Pro. Ah, interesting.
it's weirdly. I've used it. I used it in like high school. and it was good. Like this was like a good, yeah, it was just like a really good editing software.
It looks very, you know, Final Cut
Well,
slash.
Grass Valley does like production, like broadcast production stuff, just in general. At
Oh,
least,
okay, that's why.
let me see if I can get back to it.
Oh, this
You
is
buy
hilarious.
it, you,
So Vega still exists, and their icons look very much like Adobe icons.
yeah.
So you know where they're trying to position themselves.
I'm trying to see if I can find like the feature list for this. They're not really showing it off much. I don't know why.
No, yeah, we need picture of people like in an environment working. Otherwise, we don't know if it's working or not.
Yeah, how do we know? We
How do
don't.
we?
GUI color. I mean, it's the one thing I remember about it is that it was just really nice. It was just kind of like really smooth to edit in it. It was kind of just, it was fast. It was like, it had a lot of features that where you could like edit things in real time. Where, because I remember we would in high school we would film things, right, and it would be like we would have like 5 different cameras, and it allowed you to edit it. You would basically sync up all the different cameras, and then you could
Hmm?
edit while it was playing back, right? So you would have
That's
all 5 feeds going. You would just let it play, and then you just select what cameras to go to, kind of like a broadcast system where you switch between cameras.
I think the Avid does that, but you need a very powerful machine to do that. But
Yeah, like we didn't have a powerful machine. It just kind of that did it
yeah,
with
that's
bare
actually
bones
pretty
stuff.
cool.
It was there's something to it. There was definitely something to it. It was cheap too.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know.
makes sense.
So I don't know if
And
like
if you want to buy Fusion, it's only $400, which I think is the price of a Nuke render license.
300, 297. So if you buy
Yeah,
Fusion Studio 17, it's $300. And what you get is like the network rendering. You basically get like studio features, like,
yeah,
vector, like optical flow stuff, GPU, 3D GPU acceleration, and like the network stuff, like the network rendering stuff. Which is, yeah, like that's fine. 300
yeah.
bucks is 300 bucks in the grand scheme of software is like that's a plugin, but you're getting
That's
a
very cheap.
full,
Like for a visual effects software, that's nothing.
and you keep it. Like I
Yeah,
have my like I have a Resolve dongle
I have
that
my
I,
thumb right here attached to the monitor.
yeah, I have my dongle right here. My very hard to remove dongle. You get like this.
Yeah, mine
This
too.
thing is this thing makes me so nervous.
Finally,
I'm so afraid to lose this thing because it's actually like really valuable.
but it's only $300.
Well, no, but here's the thing. It's 300 bucks when you buy it,
Yeah.
but I've had this thing for like multiple versions of Resolve and Fusion, and it's given me access to all of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, same.
Right. So that's
But
the thing. It's
still,
like you buy it once, but then you kind of you can reap the rewards for that 300 bucks for a while.
oh yeah.
It's not like
I
Nuke. It's not like Nuke
not
where
like
it's like
new, but like
26.
every new version you have to buy again.
Yeah, or it's like Nuke where you pay a maintenance fee of like $2,600 a year.
Yeah, I don't know how the support is from the Fusion team, but I can't imagine it's worse than Nuke.
They
Because
have a community. That's the thing about the other thing about Fusion that's very random is that because it's been around for so long,
right,
there's a really big kind of user base and community, and they do a lot of stuff and they make a lot of tools. Reactor is like a really cool thing that has all this. Like, I'm going to try to run Fusion and see if I can show it. But
yeah, let's try. Why not?
let's see if this goes. Is there like, are there any rules for like showing off software on YouTube? Am I going to get like,
I don't think so.
are the copyright gods going to come after me?
Now, it's the content that you cannot really show, but
The
not the software.
content?
Yeah, like if you're showing pictures of some movie or something,
Mm.
and then it's not YouTube coming. It will be like I don't know, Warner Brothers or whatever.
Mhm. Okay, so Reactor is basically, it's like an application that you install, and it comes with like, it's essentially a free plugin for Fusion.
Yeah.
It's updating Reactor right now. I forget what the shortcut was. Yeah, shift
See,
space.
like, I don't know why, but Fusion does not look that nice on my system.
Do you have the newest one? Do you have 17?
I have 17, but like all the text is messy. Like it's really hard to read things. I don't know why. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, I don't
It's
know.
definitely something that I will have to check into eventually. But
Yeah. There's also just like all this, like, I just want to go through all this stuff on it because there's so much like curious things in here. Like
yeah,
what is wireless link?
oh,
Like,
that's actually a pretty easy thing.
what is
It's
that?
when you create the if I'm not wrong, it's basically a postage stamp with the input hidden, basically.
Oh,
So you can
wireless
create
link.
like link between two things without the wire in between.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's a funny name for that. I
For a
think
second, I
it's
thought it's like, wait, is this like some weird like notch technology where like you can like connect to some wireless hub somewhere and
no,
like
it's
you could run like an effect that like controls your lights or something. Like
yeah,
they should do that.
they should. Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, well, anyway, we're actually I wonder if like the S shapes are in here. Like this is the stuff that I was talking about, like these like you can make like these shapes if I'm even like looking at them.
I only see React.
All right, we'll do this. Wait, let's just look at Reactor. Yeah, Reactor basically has like just all these like tools and stuff that they make. A lot of this are for what?
Do they have a Carta VR plugin set on the side? Carta VR, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah. You
They're
know.
like, is the off-brand Cara the Foundry Cara VR?
No,
That,
yeah, they have like straight up like Nuke
that's
conversion tools, I think, like
grade. All right.
a tool to emulate Nuke's grade node. Right, so
Which I
like
don't understand why, because I think the color correction in Fusion was always superior to Nuke.
it's all of this, it's all just for people that like,
I guess they're moving into it. Yeah.
yeah, is it
I think it's color correction. It's called.
what is the new one, the thing I just installed, is it not
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, interesting.
so is this more, oh yeah, I guess gain, lift, gamma.
Yeah, because like, look, you have the range. You get like you can do master, you can do highlights, shadows, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have it's more. I guess it's more like if you're in a color grading session, like it has more of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And also, as you know, I don't see it right here, but they also have versions. Like each node has like a different version. You can save different versions.
Yeah.
Did they change it? It used to be very prominent.
Um,
Versions. There you go. There you go. So you have like up to 6 like different. So you can create a color correction, then you press on 2 and you create another one, and then you just do press 1, 2, 1, 2 to see like which is great. It's like instead of like creating a copy of the node, you can just like create different versions of it.
Yeah, and you can just switch. You can have like plugged in and switch it as you go. That's actually that's like so common sense.
Yeah, that's great. I wish we got like that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things of like.
Oh, I don't think you installed it. I think you pressed the check mark, but you forgot to press the install button.
No, I installed it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Fuse color grade fuse. I don't know how to get to it. Maybe it's like inside here or something. Color grade. Yeah. Can I? drag it or something?
No, I think
Maybe
you have
I might
to
have to restart Fusion
maybe.
to use it.
But what if you right click on the node graph? Maybe like
Yeah, if I do add tool and I go to color, maybe there's a separate thing for
you might
Reactor.
have to restart. I don't see it in color because they said it was in
Yeah,
color. Great. Oh no,
yeah.
fuses.
Fuses.
Yeah, is there fuses? I don't see fuses.
Add tool. Well, anyway, we
Yeah, you
we
might have
could
to restart. I think it's kind of like that thingy.
the
I'm
I
sure it
could.
will appear.
What if I do no? Because I have a theory. What if I do remove
Uh-huh.
and then do the color corrector? No, it's about the same. For later, I'm not gonna bore people with like my inability to use Fusion.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of like Nuke to Fusion is a set of defaults for Fusion to make transitioning from Nuke easier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff in here for kind of like bringing people over, you know.
Yeah.
There's all like
That's,
these are I think this
oh,
effects
that's new.
panel.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so there's like an effects panel here, and I think this is basically the same as the effects panel in Resolve.
Yeah.
That's basically what
Yeah,
this
it
is
is.
for. And it has all these like warp. It has something that like some things that I think are just like so common sense, like this like this dent plugin. Like I don't know if they're like
You might have to create like an image or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if this will do it. I wonder if it's not. Oh no, there it is.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see the dent. It's like a bubble.
Like you see
It's,
that?
yeah.
Like there's something like it seems like such like a silly thing, but like I would really enjoy if Nuke had this because I feel like this is
Yeah.
like
You know when you get lucky and you and when you get lucky and like they tell you like, oh, the director wanted like some kind of effect over here to see what you can come up with. And
yeah.
like this kind of stuff will really help.
No, I remember being on a job where this was a massive job where like they wanted us to do like this very particular lens effect and they were really particular about how the
Mhm.
distortion on the sides was happening and something like this would have been a really big deal.
Yeah,
And you can go both directions, right? Like you can
you can pinch.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like different ones, different varieties of like
Also, I like the little dots that they have on the sliders, so you can like quickly go back to zero
oh
while
yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, there's like this. There's just a lot of like weird, like small things that are just so powerful. But no, well, it also
It's always.
recognizes it recognizes open effects, obviously, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but there's a few. Reactor is a really cool thing. It because it has and there's so much stuff in here. Like there's so many things. There's some like very technical things like there's some MATLAB
Cool.
stuff in here for creating meshes from point clouds
Hmm.
that are like pretty sophisticated.
Oh,
And it's
that's cool.
something again that Nuke doesn't have. Like Nuke doesn't have a mesher from a point cloud.
Does
Not
it?
really. Like not a good one. Like that Poisson mesh thing it has is like not really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever used it, but I was aware that there was a Poisson, how do you call that?
Poisson mesh.
Yeah,
Poisson.
Poisson. It's like
There's
fish mesh. That's a funny name.
on
Crocodile.
Windows. Then there's also this Crocodile. It's just like it's like the Sapphire plugins of Fusion.
Oh, okay.
Could not be saved. That's fine.
Have to be safe. All right. That's always good to have Sapphire stuff. You
Yeah,
can
it's just
actually
like
use Sapphire because Sapphire is open FX.
you
And
can
as
also
far
do
as
that. I think this is just free. I think that's all.
yeah,
Yeah, like MeshLab. I was testing this before. MeshLab is pretty cool.
'cause
It's
I
just a
think
way to like generate meshes from points but in a way that isn't bad. Like you can actually you could go into a 3D tracking software, create like a pretty dense point cloud, and then mesh it out and project to it.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just all this have been installed.
Oh yeah, it said you might need to restart.
Yeah. I think I uninstalled it though, right?
But then you put it back in, so like if you restart, it should appear.
Let me I'm just checking real quick for that. I just want to see what I'm actually pretty curious what the difference is. I don't know if this is very boring for people to watch.
I don't know. I feel like we'll have to
Edit it down.
Some poor junior will have to edit it down.
No, names will not be mentioned, but you know who you
are. They're too under to be named yet.
Yeah. Names must be earned.
Names must be earned.
We're just kidding. We're not about that life at all.
No,
we're talking about Scott. Scott is the guy who's going to be editing this.
Yes.
Scott Moriarty.
Which I think right now Scott is looking for a job as a junior.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me share this. Let me share this real quick. Hold on. Look at this jazz. This is the grade node.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. It's just a grade node already opened up.
Yeah, it's just an exploded grade node. Black point, white point.
Predivide, multiply. Yeah, that has all the stuff.
Lift, gain, multiply, offset, gamma. And I guess you can pick a target color. Or like, how does this, like if I...
Oh. Wait. You have to like increase the luminance.
Oh, right. I suck at visual.
That color, that window color.
Oh, no, you can select the color and it just kind of picks values for you.
Oh, that's cool.
That's something.
I guess it's cool if you're doing motion graphics because you will have your color. I mean, I'm assuming this is already set up for editing, really, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do like this because, like, I know coming from Nuke, this has definitely like saved me a lot of headache.
Yeah.
Dude, just having like the black clamp and white clamp, because there's some things that are like some things, very specific things like offset that I really only know how to do in Nuke. I don't really know exactly how to make that work in Fusion. But yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so it has all those things. So let's give Fusion a score.
CBB.
I mean, that's pretty much. It's like you could use it. You can use it, but if there's some things it doesn't. There's some things that Nuke still has.
You can use it, but you need more patience. I feel like Nuke has certain things that, like, by now I got so used to it that if they had like some, you know, like the tracker, like if there was like an equivalent to like, you know, modifying the data from the tracker so quickly.
Yeah, I think that's a big. I think if you like.
Actually, my biggest issues I had with Fusion was the tracker. Like that was like the biggest one I had.
Yeah,
the
I feel like if you
and animating transforms, but like I found out eventually how to use the transforms, which was pain in the ass, but still.
Yeah, I feel like with Fusion it's the kind of thing where like you get like such a massive. It's almost like if you really wanted to use it, you would have to use it in conjunction with like PF Track, Mocha, and Blender, or something like that.
Yeah.
And like that, I mean, that in total, what I just described is also just far more powerful than what Nuke is, and far cheaper than what Nuke is.
Yeah.
So, but then with Nuke, you have it all in one application, but you're paying a steep price for it. So I don't know. I think Nuke still has smart vectors, so that's the.
Well, right now, right now, I guess that and the AI is the only two things that they have.
Yeah, they have the AI stuff. Like Resolve has AI stuff for like matting, like their magic mat thing, and it looks very impressive. But it
And
isn't.
then,
It's not. You're not manipulating the logic of the AI. It's just a tool that they made that uses AI. So
right.
there's something to that. Yeah, I think
I never,
there's gonna be some
I never used the
shenanigans.
VR like 360 stuff in Nuke, so I don't know how good that is compared to other softwares. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a lifesaver. Maybe not. I don't know. But I know that Fusion has something like that too. Just, I mean, we just saw the what was it like the Kara, like the
Yeah. No, they
crowd.
have everyone. Like, yeah, they have their stuff. They have their
Yeah,
VR stereo. They've had it for a while too. Like I remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, they had stereo tools. They might have had it before Nuke actually.
maybe.
Um, they've had it for
But
a long
you know,
time.
think that the stereo like kind of died.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
don't know who that's there. I mean, it exists still, but no one cares.
no one cares, and I don't think they're shooting in stereo anymore.
No,
I
no, it's
think
all
at
done
this
in
point
post.
yeah, it's all done in post. They're shooting regular, and then they just like track it
It's
and
not
recreate
worth.
it.
It was never worth to shoot it. It's just too much overhead to shoot in stereo.
Yeah, it turned out
Because
to
you're
be
gonna fix everything.
yeah,
You're gonna shoot it and you're gonna fix everything later, and then it'll probably still be kind of messed up.
yeah.
So
It's like the two cameras are not like they will not shoot the same. Like the maybe the color is a little bit different or stuff like that.
sometimes you'll get
And compression is
flares.
different. Yeah,
You'll get
flares.
flares in one camera and no flares in the other, and that is a pain in the butt. You
Yeah,
basically have to ditch one of the cameras in a shot like that because the amount of work to remove a flare is absurd. You'll spend like half your VFX budget on just removing flares.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know this from experience. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's Fusion. What should we talk about next? We should try.
Um,
We should bring somebody in to talk about Blender. I feel like we should do
yeah.
Blender. Just let's go through the alt soft world.
I'm also noticing that
Hashtag alt soft.
Vegas has Vegas effects, powerful compositing tools to take your creations further. And there's a very Star Wars Episode 1 sort of imagery on their website. Maybe we should talk about that. Or Blender.
That's my reaction.
No, I think we should talk about Blender next because there are compositing tools in Blender, so we should find somebody that can maybe like talk about that.
Well, not even compositing. I want to talk about like just 3D, the 3D of it. I think I
Oh,
know somebody who might be interested. We'll see if that goes.
you know somebody that is really good at blendering?
Kind of, yeah. I kind of do.
Oh, cool.
We'll find out next time.